Welcome back to No Fall Weddings Week 5 recap, part of the Co-working universe. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Keep this channel going. What an incredible college football day it was yesterday. We had the hype of all the top 10 matchups, even some top 20 matchups, and for the most part, they all lived up to the hype. The only issue with all those great games is sometimes they're played at the same time. So for everyone out there, I promise it's worth it. Get 2 TVs. Because last night we had 2 awesome ones. First up, Oregon at Penn State. Penn State's whiteout game. Good old James Franklin. Rinse, wash, repeat. He is now 2-21 versus top 6 opponents while coaching Penn State. How much longer are you going to put up with that, Happy Valley? I mean, Oregon was clearly the best team. I understand it went into double overtime and Penn State had a chance to win, but Oregon was the better team. They almost outgained him by 200 yards. You're supposed to have this top 5 quarterback in Drew Aller, and basically with halfway through the second half, they got 3 points. And he looks terrible. He's inaccurate. He makes a couple plays, but he just doesn't look like a great quarterback. Props to them for fighting back and getting to overtime, but it's the same story every year. Listen, Penn State never gets blown out. They have talent, but their coaching, it's got to be coaching, or just this mental block of how can we get past a elite top echelon team. And Oregon is clearly one of those. You got them at home, you got them at night, got them in the whiteout game, and what does Drew Aller do? Throws a back-breaking interception in double overtime on 1st and 10. Didn't have to throw it. Could have thrown it away, gone on a second down, but no, it's what they do. They always choke in the big games. And let me say something about the whiteout game. It is obviously an incredible atmosphere, and it's even on the bucket list for me as an Ohio State fan. Like, I would love to go to that game when they're playing Ohio State. Unfortunately, Fox will always continue to put it at noon, so it's not a true, I guess, technically whiteout game. But again, incredible atmosphere, but it is overrated when it comes to the outcome for Penn State. Like, all I think about is the losses they've had there. A lot of them do have to do with my team, which is always awesome. But when they play top 5, top 10 teams with the whiteout, they generally lose. So I don't know, maybe the atmosphere keeps the games close. So I got to give it a little credit. But I got to imagine as a Penn State fan how demoralizing it is to just continue to lose these whiteout games against top teams. As for Oregon, I don't know if I really like the fact that this is their second year in the Big Ten and they've already kind of come in and bullied some of the top Big Ten teams. They beat Ohio State last year. They beat Penn State this year in the regular season. Don't want to talk about what happened in that Rose Bowl game last year. Don't get me twisted. I don't like rooting for Big Ten teams. I was not rooting for Penn State last night, but I remember the mentality of, oh, this West Coast team, they're not ready for the Midwest Big Ten schedule, and they come in and yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. Only thing that annoys me about Penn State is now the game against Ohio State in a few weeks, which was looking like it was going to be a number 1 versus number 2, that drops off. And Ohio State doesn't play Oregon in the regular season this year. So if it happens, it's going to be in the Big Ten championship, which we've all learned doesn't really mean anything when it comes to the playoffs. All right, the second game last night, which I think is the bigger upset of the two, Alabama at Georgia. Georgia hasn't lost at home in 6 years. Talk about a mental block. Georgia's only beaten Alabama once in their last 8 tries. Now, it was for the national championship, but Georgia right now is clearly the better program. But they lost to Alabama last year, and now they lost to them at home with the better team, supposedly. Georgia's defense just isn't the same anymore. It's wild. That score was 24-21 with 6 minutes to go in the game, and that's how it finished. What a weird game. Like, Georgia got to be shooting themselves because they had a bad drop that was probably going to be a touchdown. To be fair, so did Ryan Williams and Alabama. Just 2 horrendous drops. Those can't happen in big-time college football. But Georgia twice had 4th down and short and came up empty. I was so ready. We all were. We were so ready to just bury Alabama. Put them in the past. They're no longer to be worried about. They're done. Then you go into Georgia and beat them. Got to give them credit. Kalen DeBoer with a statement W, and he needed it badly. Now you couple that with another loss that happened today, and the SEC is wide open. That other game was the Lane Train Ole Miss Rebels taking down top 5 LSU. Oh, Brian Kelly. Listen, these are the games that Ole Miss always loses. They're at home. They're facing a top 10 SEC team. It was usually Alabama, all this hype, and they would play them tight and always choke in the end. And there was a chance that could happen again. But credit to Lane Kiffin, who had the balls to go for it on 4th and 3. It's like, nope, I'm not trusting my defense. I got 3 yards to end this game. And he calls a great play, wide open, game over. Brian Kelly looking at his defensive coordinator like, what are you doing? Even though their defense has been great all year. Maybe it's your offense, Brian Kelly. You have Nussmeier, top 5 NFL pick. He looks awful. Their offense looks stagnant. No weapons. Can't move the ball. This one's on you, Brian Kelly. And we're all happy to laugh at you. All right, let's do the play of the day. Now, we've seen big men have some thick sixes, some touchdowns near the goal line, rumbling and stumbling. But this is the first one. And for Alabama, of all teams to call it, watch this play.
Big tackle on the left side. They're going to throw it to him. Big fella. Barreling downhill. Proctor. Bustling.
They set up a screen to a 300-pounder. And he looked pretty agile on his feet. Looked like he knew what he was doing. Maybe 200 pounds ago, he was the running back of his Pee-wee football team. It's one of those plays that in your head, you're like, why don't more people do that? They're going to run over 3 people. I'm not rooting for anybody in this game, but as soon as they threw it to him, I'm like, score. You got to score. All right, let's go around the country with some quick hits. USC and Illinois, sneaky good noon game. Back and forth, USC comes back, takes the lead. Illinois with the game-winning field goal. Illinois, who just got their asses handed to them last week against Indiana. Good comeback win. That's how you bounce back. And now they're not dead in the Big Ten. And again, I talked about Oregon coming in and kind of sneakily dominating the Big Ten. I'd rather it be Oregon than USC. Take this L, Trojans. Tennessee and Georgia Tech both survive overtime games this week. A&M struggle with Auburn, but they, again, find a way to win. And how could I forget? Friday night, Florida State. You were looking so good. You had that Bama win earlier in the year. But, man, those Friday night games will get you. Normally, I like to get a good night's sleep Friday night because I know, especially when there's big games Saturday night, I'm going to be staying up late and getting no sleep. And here I am crawling into bed at 9:30, kind of keeping an eye on the game. Virginia, Florida State. Oh, man, I got to stay up for this just in case. And Florida State, their quarterback makes a hell of a play to tie the game, basically to go to overtime. And I'm just demoralized. I'm like, why did I stay up? Because now Florida State's going to win. Nope. Watch the way the crowd rushes and storms the field. I've never seen anything like this before.
Comes the blitz. Castellanos in trouble. Heaves one towards the end zone. Intercepted. It's over. Virginia has done it.
That poor Florida State wide receiver. Somebody please tell me he's okay. The only thing that stinks about that is that it kind of deflates the Miami matchup next week. There's going to be 2 top, 7, 8 teams. Kind of like the old school 90s. But Florida State, listen, still pretty good. That kid can play quarterback. Miami's schedule looking a little suspect for the teams they've beaten. So it'll be a good game still. On some personal notes, Ohio State went out to Washington yesterday. And the spread started at about 13.5, 14.5 at the beginning of the week. It got all the way down to 8.5. Now, if you're not a known bettor, that's a huge jump from Ohio State being a big favorite to barely being a touchdown favorite. So a lot of money came in on Washington thinking, hey, they're going to play well. They're going to keep this a tight game. Sometimes just keep that money in your wallet, people. Because Ohio State's defense right now, even when they give up some chunk plays, if you don't score on a 30-yard play and it's 1st and goal, you're not scoring. You're not scoring the touchdown. Julian Saint continues to play really efficiently, high percentage throws, and get the ball to number 4. And on the Notre Dame side, oh, man, they couldn't have picked a better day to dominate an SEC team on the road. My grandpa passed away earlier this week, and there was 2 things he only cared about with sports. One was the Bills and one was Notre Dame football. And so yesterday was his funeral. It's a great celebration for a man that lived a great life, 98 years old. We get to the bar to celebrate, and Notre Dame smacks Arkansas, playing the fight music, having a couple Guinnesses. Solanche, Grandpa. Thank you for watching No Fall Weddings. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see y'all next week. We are ND.